Hey, what's up everybody? TechChucker here, and today I've got a review for you of the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon Ace Duck and Mutagen Man. I had this pre-ordered on NECA Shop online, and I have to say, I'm pretty happy, because if I missed this, like the other sets, I would be pretty upset. So I'm really glad to finally have this in hand. So let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and crack this thing open and take a closer look. Here they are out of the box, and these things really look good. They're very impressive. As always, NECA just did a great job with the paint and the sculpt work. I will say I have a small dislike for this tone of yellow. It feels a little too washed out for me. I'd like it a little bit more vibrant, but you know, it still is going to look amazing on the shelf. It's just, I would have liked a little deeper yellow. As always, paint looks great. I love the sculpt work that they've got on this Mutagen Man. And they really went above and beyond with the clear plastic, which will show you what can be done with that in a little bit. These purples look awesome. They've painted the top here, which looks great. This little hose thing is fairly rubbery, so that's going to move around for you really nicely. They painted the little mutagen like canisters on the back, which is awesome. Got this little pink part that's sticking out. And then down on the foot, this is really cool, and we'll show you a little bit more of that in the articulation, but I really like the mechanics of this. There are certainly some reused parts. The foot we've seen multiple times now. I believe these arms are from Bebop, maybe Rocksteady, I don't remember which one, and then the Triceratons. With Ace Duck, you know, the legs, basically everything waist down is what Vern, those are his legs. New feet, I really like the feet. Those look awesome. These wings are so good. They're sculpted, so you see the feathers in there, which is awesome. I love the little rocket on the back with the feathers. That's a really nice touch. And then also he's got a holster, which is also a nice touch. The hat, that just looks awesome. The only thing about the hat, and I should be doing this in the accessories, but whatever. I wish that there was like a magnet on the top of his head, the way that Mezco does, because the hat has a tendency to fall off, and that I just don't really care for that. But other than that, you know, my two gripes, the tone of the yellow and then the hat. But other than that, it looks awesome. The eyes are painted so nicely. This is just, they just really nailed it. They're hitting on all cylinders, and I get it. You know, I'm a fanboy, but I can't help it. I love these things so much. Let's go ahead and measure these two up to see just how tall they are. Mutagen Man is coming in at just over 5 inches, maybe 5 1/4. And then Ace Duck, he is to the top of his head. We'll call that about 6 1/4 to the top of the hat. But then to the top of the wings, that's getting to be about, what was I going to say, 7 1/2 inches. So really nicely scaled there. Let's go ahead and throw in a few other figures for some size comparisons with Shredder here. And then we've got Bebop. He's kind of leaning over a little bit. And then we'll put in Leonardo right in front if he will stand. Oh, come on now. Stand. And then got to have Deadpool in there. We'll put him in the back. Awesome scale. Really like the height, especially for Mutagen Man. Ace Duck, maybe a hair on the tall side, but still, he's going to stand out and look really good on your shelf. Or even better, maybe make him flying or something. All right, articulation on Mutagen Man. We'll skip his head for now, and we'll just talk about his shoulders. He's got shoulders on a ball hinge. He can move them up about that far. He can swivel them, but you're going to kind of move things out of the way. He has an upper bicep swivel, which will move around pretty nicely. He's got double jointed elbows. Those work okay, about 90 degrees. He has a hinge and a peg in his wrists. Those work nice enough. There is no torso or waist swivel. He has those T-jointed ball joints in the hips, and he actually has pretty good range of motion there. He can go about that far. He can kick forward only a little bit, and it really starts pushing that leg outwards. And he can kick back a decent amount, but also that is pushing that leg outwards. He has a waist or a hip swivel, and then he has double jointed knees, but they're kind of hard to operate. You'll get it about 90 degrees. It should go a little bit more, but mine keep freezing up on me. And then down in the ankle, he's got an ankle hinge. as you know, normally we've seen. But what's really cool, and if we can zoom in here, see if you can see that, these little rods are actually free floating in these little holes here. So as you move his ankles back and forward, and then even better when you are rotating them, it moves up and down, which is really cool. And I don't know, that's just a fun little extra. But you do have to be careful that if you bring it too far, it will pop out of that hole. Mine's bound in there. So just kind of be aware of that. Maybe if they had made the little pins or the rods just a hair longer, that maybe would have been a little bit better. I want to show you the really cool part about his head, and that is, first, there's a hinge here. Pop these little hoses out of these holes, and then you can pop this hose out of this hole, and then this kind of, you just lay that back a little bit. It's easiest if you raise the arms so they're basically all the way out, and then you can put your fingernail, if you happen to have one, up in this slot, and then kind of pry his little glass deal off. Took me a little bit to figure out that his arms needed to go up. But then his head, number one, the mouth is articulated. It's a little bit hard to articulate it, but you can pull that head out, and there's a peg back here with a peg hole in the back of his little brain head, and you can articulate the little spine that his head is connected to. You can open his mouth, but even better, you can pull that off, and he comes with another head. He comes with the one in the box, looks like that, and then a little bit more angry face that you can swap them out, which is really cool. Both of them have articulated mouths, and you just pop this little guy in there. But look at the paintwork on this. This is really nicely painted. There's different shades of pink, and then you've got the panel lining. They really did a nice job. Even this has a different texture. It's got lines. That is really cool. So you pop this little ball peg in, and I like to make sure, and I went and did it wrong this time, is try and point it so that it's not going to get in the way of the mouth. So once you pop that in, then you have a better chance of being able to have the mouth posed open. There's a peg hole down in there. So the peg hole there, you peg that in, and then you peg his head in the back. The biggest bummer with this is you get it all situated and then get the glass back on and then realize that you've got him looking up. But this thing is so much fun to play with that it really doesn't matter that much. It's just too much fun. Now we need to put the glass back on. My light is it's not working with me very nicely for you guys to be able to see. So hopefully you'll be able to actually see that. That pops in. Make sure your little hoses are out of the way. Pop that in. Do I got it? I think I got it. Drop the arms down. Plug these back into their little respective portholes. And now you have Angry Mutagen Man. How cool is that? I really love that. That's just a fun extra that they gave to us. Let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation. We'll take the hat off before it just falls off and then I lose it. His head is on a ball peg and he can look up about that far. So it's not a huge amount, but he can get his chin all the way down because there is also a neck piece, a separate neck piece, and that goes down. He can look side to side. There's no issues with that. And then he's got really nice tilt and neck action there. In the shoulders, he's got a ball hinge. He can get his arm up only about that far. He can swivel it basically all the way around, which is great. He has an upper bicep swivel, and he also has a swivel at the bottom of his elbow. He has double jointed elbows, kind of that awkward, like, double piece that's in there. I'm not a huge fan of the way that looks because it kind of gives him like a third piece of an arm, but you know, it works at least. He has a hinge and he's got one of those kind of the roll of the dice hinges in this wrist, which is really nice. And then he's got a peg joint on this side. It's that standard kind of in and out wrist movement. He doesn't have a torso joint necessarily, but he does have a waist joint. He can swivel, he can kind of crunch forward about that far, he can arch his back about that far. Not a lot, but he's got some range of motion there. He's got T-jointed ball joints in the hips. He can do the splits about that far. He can kick forward about that far. He can only kick back about this far, and then he can swivel that hip. He's got double jointed knees. If I can get this one to activate, he could get it all the way, but for some reason that's frozen again. Hit it with some heat and it'll probably loosen up. Down in the ankle, he's got a hinge down there. He can get back about that far, and then he can get about that far forward, and then he's got nice ankle rocker. His wings are also articulated with a ball hinge. That works really nicely. They will swivel, and then they will also flap if you want them to. So his articulation is pretty darn nice. Let's go through the accessories for these guys, because they come with a lot. And we'll start with the extra hands. I know hands aren't super exciting, but Mutagen Man comes with 6 total hands, 3 sets total. And this is just, I really like it when we get extra hands. So we've got some holding hands, and he's got the fist hands in there, a trigger finger hand, which is great. So that is really nice. And then Ace Duck also comes with a bunch of hands. So he's got the 2 on, it looks like one's kind of splayed open, and then that one kind of as a trigger finger. We've got a fist hand, we've got a couple of finger pointing ones. So he has a total of what, 2, 4, 6, 8 hands, which is awesome. Then Ace Duck also comes with 2 handguns. He comes with a standard issue revolver, which is really cool. And then he comes with more of like a, what is it, like Desert Eagle. I don't think this is truly a Desert Eagle, but it's close enough to be able to say that maybe that's what it is. He has a holster here, and those handguns should theoretically be able to fit in there. So we throw that in there, and then there's a little peg, may or may not peg in, but that is cool. He comes with an alternate head, more of an angry head, which is really nice. I like this, and the hat should fit on there as well. Again, I go back, I wish there was a magnet or something to make sure that it would stay on, but that is awesome. He comes with 2 little egg grenades. Dropped one. And those are fun. He's got these little pouches that I think could hold them, which is awesome. I always like it when these characters or these figures can hold their own accessories, because then you don't need to get bins and stuff to keep track of it all. We also get this little reel-to-reel type film piece, which is cool. I'm really hoping that we get like a film strip projector at some point. And then we get this VHS tape, which is really nicely done. It's scaled really well too. I just wish that there was like a label put on it. That would have been really nice. And then we get this just absolutely amazing gun. I mean, this thing is incredible. I love the way that it looks. I don't really recall what this thing is, so I'm not even going to pretend that I know. But I know that this thing is freaking awesome. There's a hole here where the barrel is. It's just so cool. It's painted awesome. That is great. We already know Mutagen Man. He comes with his extra little head. And then he also comes with another canister for, the mutagen stuff. At least I'm pretty confident this is a mutagen canister. That is awesome. And then they come with one more accessory. I need to go grab it. All right, so I found the last accessory, and it is this Ace Duck old-timey poster style. And this is really cool. Sometimes I don't really like the paper goods that they put in, but this one I really like. I think this is well placed. Also, the fact that we got all of these other accessories, you don't feel like you're, kind of missing out on accessories. This is really nice. This might get put up somewhere because I just really like it. They did a very nice job with it. So overall, I'm very pleased with this set. I think NECA, as always, they did a great job with it. I'm excited to try and figure out where I'm going to display these guys because I'm starting to run out of room. But for me, that's a fun problem to have. I definitely think that you need to get this set, but you know, I'm biased because I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the NECA stuff. But what do you guys think of it? Leave a comment below, let me know what you think. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, all that other jazz, and I will see you in the next video.